In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the AmpliGame D6 streaming controller from Fifine, which is a great little device for taking control of many applications on your PC, whether you're a streamer, content creator, or otherwise. And straight out of the box, we get a user manual with all the information we'll need to set up the D6, as well as the D6 itself, and a USB-A to USB-C cable to connect to our PC. As you can see, it's a little bit customized on the buttons from my last video, but we'll go over that a little bit more today. For now, let's take a little bit of a closer look at the D6 unit itself. If we take a look on the back, we can see where we connect our USB-C that goes straight to our USB-A on our PC, and next to that we have an RGB button. If we press that, we can cycle through our RGB effects. I'll just cycle through a few. So we've got different colors, different patterns. I do prefer myself a nice solid color, but there are some nice options to go through. That's quite a nice color, so we'll leave it on that for now. With, of course, the 15 LCD face buttons that we do have, if I move actually one of the logos on the app, you can see that it's changing in real time to the different button there. We can also create folders, so we can technically make new screens just by clicking into a folder. So I'll do that quickly on the PC inside the Fifine Control Deck app. I'm going to drag a create folder in, and we'll see the folder appear just there. And if I click on that, it'll take us to a new set of buttons. We do lose one because we need a back button, but we just press back and we can go back to our main page. So say if there was some favorite games I wanted to just have on the press of a button without launching any apps, I can just go in there and say launch Battlefield or DayZ on one of these buttons, and it will just launch it for me. It selects the exe file in the software, which I'll show you shortly, and you can just go straight into any application or game that you desire through that method. We can also give these folders a name, so I'll just do this showing you on the D6 itself for now, but I'll type on my keyboard games, say, and we can see just this tiny text there saying games, so I know that's a games folder. We can also change to an image, so if we didn't want text but we wanted like a games icon, we can click where that image is located in the Windows app and select local file. And let me just find a random icon. Okay, I found a nice image from Arma Reforger, picture of Jarsky, so I will put that picture as my icon and it will change. There's Jarsky and Arma Reforger. I'll show that in Windows as well on the Fifine Control Deck, so you can see kind of more understandably what I'm doing. But it's all fairly straightforward. What I will do now though, as we've got an image on there, I'll try and zoom in on that image and get it clear for you. You can see the LCD buttons are really high quality. That's picking up all the details on that face. It's really sharp. It's even better in real life. The camera doesn't do it justice really, but you can see how well that works. Just a custom image there. It's quite a nice size as well, and it's got a little bit of weight to it, so it does feel quite premium, and it is made of plastic, but it is, as always with Fifine, that premium, hard, tough, durable plastic. I'm quite pleased with the feeling of the device. I can't really complain. You're not going to hold it in your hands anyway. It's like sturdy. It's going to stand there really nicely and complement your setup, I think. The RGB is actually really nice. I hope that comes across on camera. I know not everybody likes RGB. I do quite like it. It sets the mood, as you can see. I like RGB a little bit. It's quite nice addition to your setup. I've got it quite a bit of it everywhere around me, so yeah, it does look nice. We'll give it that. So what we're going to do now is go into our games folder we've made, and we're going to add a couple of games that we want to play here. Just at the press of a button we can launch these, and we're going to choose open an app. We're going to drag that in. That one does take a few seconds to appear, so don't worry, it hasn't crashed. And then what we're going to do is pick an exe file down here. So if I find a game that I want to launch, once we've selected our game or application, it will give us a thumbnail on its own. It's a bit low quality, but we can change that just by clicking there and then select local file. But that'll do for now. We kind of see what it is, and that will be now on our D6. So when we click it, it should launch up Tony Hawk's 3+4. There we go. Just one quick thing, the games that it does recognize straight off the bat with the drop-down list are only my Game Pass installed games. My Steam games aren't appearing. So what I'm going to do is make another one of these open apps. And we're going to go to Steam, and then we can maybe just launch Steam through this key, which if I press it now, will open up Steam straight away. and then we can just launch from there. I don't know if there is a way that I found out yet anyway to add specific games to this list that or apps that aren't there. That would be useful, maybe, but it is pretty cool that it can do it either way. I've also gone back to the main screen and added another open app for my copy of Vegas. So if I do want to edit a video, I can just quickly press this button, it'll open Vegas for me, which is pretty handy for me as I edit videos quite a lot. With that said, we do have quite a lot of options. As well as the create folder, we can do a scene shift, pages, next and previous. We can do go to page, prompt, page indicator, brightness, and dev sleep. So if we want to put the D6 to sleep and not have those LCDs on all the time, because they probably will burn out at some point if you leave them on for a long period of time, we can just drag that in and press that key, and that will turn our screens off, which I'll show in the footage. Press it again and it will turn back on. Along with that, we've also got a toolkit where we can open a website, we can have hotkeys, hotkey switch, mouse events, we can do the open and open an app, which I've been using for the games and Vegas there. We can do a close app, we can do text, password, multimedia, and that's all in toolkit. And then you've got your audio player, play and stop, as well as operation flow, which is a bit beyond me, but I guess that might be useful to somebody. And then we've got all of our OBS studio controls. So we can have a hotkey for record, stream, virtual camera, we can switch scenes, we can do source visibility, audio mixer, we can mute, unmute our audio mixer, we can toggle studio mode, we can take a screenshot from OBS, we can show our transition, we can do a green background image up and a green background image down. All in with those controls for OBS. That's pretty good. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that you'd need on top of that. That's I'd use quite a few of those. And then, of course, we have Discord, which I've got the mute mic and mute audio there on my hotkey. So if I go into a game like Peak or Repo, I can just mute Discord, and then we use the in-game voice, and it's just on a button press there on the D6. But you also have voice channel, text, notice, loads of controls for Discord there that you might want to use, as well as the last tab here, which is Streamlabs, where we can do a test warning and skip alerts. So if you get like a donation alert pop up, you can skip it if it's a really long one, like you get trolled with one of those, if you've ever seen or heard or had one of those before. And then there's all these other controls, play media, toggle automatic display. So some of those will be quite useful to a lot of streamers, content creators out there. But if that's not enough, there's also a FIFINE store. So if let's open up that, and we've got more plugins. There's a Discover tab here that's just loading. So the Discover tab is pretty much FIFINE's other products, which I've reviewed most of by now. And then we got the plugins channel. So if there's something there that's not on that main side panel just there, look through this plugins panel and you might find what you're looking for. There's quite a lot of different sub-genres here under plugins. So we can do voice modeler, headlines, memo note, YouTube Live. There is Photoshop stuff, Autodesk, Blender, Adobe. That's quite a big list, actually. Then we've got the icons tab, which will give us some icon packs, I believe, for some of the buttons that we might want to customize. There we go. We've got some Black Myth Wukong there and some neon grids. Look at that. And then the last tab here on the left is if you get stuck. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do things and opening everything up. But hopefully my videos helped you get started at least with a good overview and a review of the D6 itself. And currently on Amazon, you can grab the FIFINE D6 for £79.99. Now that's a lot of tools and power in a little device for that price point, and I'm extremely happy with my experience so far and look forward to using it in the future for all of my apps and streaming use. And for our American Amazon users, we can also get a further discount of 10% off with the code 10FIFINE. For a bigger discount for US, UK and Canada on the FIFINE website and a 15% off code, use FIFINEMIC15. But do let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the D6 and the video I've presented to you here. Is it something you'd pick up, which could potentially give you another option to control your workstation or your game station, as well as help you with your streams and content creation? Again, massive thank you to FIFINE for sending me over the D6 to check out for you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you like the content I create and you want to see more. Most of all, thank you for watching, and I'll see you peeps next time.